The retail industry has been forced into a rocky revolution of sorts in 2020, and the importance of business elements such as digital marketing, product innovation, and customer experience have just gotten stronger with every month and every setback that's been thrown our way. This year's challenges aren't exclusive to only retail though, so I called up Aden Hepburn, who's an award-winning agency MD who's worked with the likes of Netflix, Google, McDonald's and Ripcurl, and I asked him a couple of questions about the current business priorities across industries, and I asked him how his team is currently working with companies to better understand, innovate and enhance that all-important customer experience.
I think the big conversations right now are typically around finding new and innovative ways to improve that brand experience for their customers. As you can imagine, everyone wants to drive greater loyalty and talkability for their brands. I think it's just how you look to find those new and really interesting ways to help differentiate yourself and ultimately grow in what's a really challenging and changing market right now. And I think with that, you've got to look at those existing journeys. And really look for ways to inject creativity and storytelling into the right touch points, ultimately maybe connecting ecosystems together to drive better, more personalized experiences end to end. So that's a big challenge for big global brands, mum and pop stores and everything in between. But I guess if you take a few of those essentials out of that, it's about looking at what your brand's DNA really is and injecting that into the customer experience wherever you possibly can. Finding ways to create more memorable moments with your brand that people actually want to talk about, things that people get excited by, that truly only your business, your brand, your store can actually kind of create and people really gravitate and engage with. And I guess there's other things like identifying and investing in those experiences that you think can help drive growth in your business. And I think if you look at the way the world is right now, you've got to find a different angle on absolutely everything and put a little bit of time and investment behind it to sort of explore how you can take advantage of that as well. And I guess the last point I'd say is probably just around making sure you keep that innovation and experimentation investment stream going as well. I think the worst thing to do right now is kind of pulling back on those things that were going to shift your business forward. It's actually the time to really keep those things going and probably double down on them as well, because customers are really expecting you to do things differently now. And if you don't invest in innovation, then you'll probably stay the same. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what you said about the DNA of a brand or a company, essentially that's the same today as it was 12 months ago. And even the end customer is the same customer, but it's that pathway or the journey to commerce that has been disrupted and changed and tweaked over the last 12 months. And I think the typical and traditional ways of face-to-face sort of shopper engagement, has been bumped and had a bumpy road over the last 12 months. Mm-hmm. What extra importance or pressure do you think that has under the current climate put on greater customer experience?
Yeah, look, these unfortunate circumstances, I think, have really accelerated the discussion and importance around fusing that experience and technology kind of angle together. And I think, ultimately, brands and retailers, it's probably the best time ever to do a reset and recalibration of their plans for, I hate saying this word, but that kind of new normal. And, where staying connected away from physical stores is probably going to be the way forward for a long time. And I think ultimately for global brands or large kind of retail networks even, your customers really expect you to evolve and embrace change. It's an opportunity to completely reimagine how your business can deliver amazing customer experiences. And in fact, your customers really actually want that. And the good thing is there is no silver bullet. There's nothing magical here to be created. There are no rules. It's a completely blank sheet. And I think if you're true to the DNA of your brand and your business, you'll find really great, engaging, innovative ways to kind of connect with your customers like you haven't done before. But I think the flip side to that is if you don't invest, if you don't push that boundaries, if you don't explore truly new ways to engage and kind of connect with your customers, that those smarter, more nimble kind of commerce first brands, they're really going to have an opportunity to kind of develop cult followings in this world. You've seen it with mattress startups or other online kind of direct to consumer commerce offerings that take really good chunks of market share really quickly, just off the back of amazing customer service, of amazing customer experiences. And they're not investing a lot of money in it. They're just doing it differently from scratch, But I guess the flip side to that is, if you're a local surf shop or if you're a local retailer, whatever it might be, what's that kind of personal touch you can add? That new way to connect with customers, even when your stores might be less frequented, which is that that kind of weird world we now live in. But what's your commerce experience look like? It doesn't have to be that expensive. How do you get people to check out your new products? How do you get people to trial things? Then ultimately, I think it's kind of around like, how do you reflect that personalized service that you gave your customers when they walked into your store typically, when they called you up on the phone? How do you transform that? How do you take that DNA and just kind of reimagine it for this new world where they may not call you every day or they may not walk into your store? There's a million other channels and ways to kind of create that. And there is no right or wrong. I think you just need to experiment with it as well. But I think the flip side to this is, regardless of whether you're a big business, you're a small mom and pop business or somewhere in between, ultimately customers are always wanting amazing experiences. And they now just compare you to, Netflix from a personalization perspective and something that's just so seamless and fast and easy to find things to watch. Or an Uber that, just kind of knows where you are and is kind of quick to bring you something and tracks it to you. So you've kind of got that reassurance that where that cab is on the way to you. So, your customers are comparing you to these amazing global businesses that have unbelievable customer experiences, but they expect that from everyone now. And the reality is that doesn't have to be that hard and that expensive to replicate. But you just need to give it a crack, and you need to find what your little bit of that is. And if you can do that, I think you've got a really amazing opportunity to make a difference in this kind of current crazy world.
Oh, that's great, mate, and awesome insights. And I think, just something that sort of jumped to my head as you were talking there, it's just continue to do right by the customer, because they're trying to figure out everything that's going on as well, right? So I really liked what you said about sort of investing and trying different things, testing and learn, trying that stuff, being nimble where you can, whether that's investing financially or in some new time and doing some stuff for different ways. So
yeah, I think there's just lots of just different things. It could just be testing a way to connect with your customers on Facebook Messenger or whatever it might be. Little things that allow you to just take that service level up a notch and kind of do it in a new form, in a new way, and you'll quickly see what works and what doesn't.